This is the House of Bodybuilders. What do we do in the House of Bodybuilders?
We talk shit. We eat food.
And we flex.
And yep.
Hit them with a flex.
Flex is always at night, man. Here, both of us.
No, it's about me.
Oh, it's about you, Project You, not Project Me.
It's Project Me, not Project
You know what I meant. Alright, y'all. So, no, I'm just joking.
Do what you do. Just flex in the background. I'll talk.
Alright, so.
No, we ain't going yet. What you doing?
What the fuck? What are we waiting on?
So what is going on, guys? So this is basically the pre-doc before the actual document, because we want to give you guys like our thoughts in regards to me moving into my 2020 prep, because I want to keep you guys up to date on everything that I do, and I want to show you guys everything. Yeah. So with me right now, I have Gillis. He is the other coach at GT Nutrition Performance, hence GT. And he's more of like behind the scenes type of guy. So I think this is
like that.
He is. So this right here is forcing him to be in front of the camera and allowing you guys to hear him talk.
Wow. Yeah. Gonna hear me talk. All right.
But so Gillis is the other half of the mastermind going into my 2020 prep, because for my 2020 prep, it's going to be Gillis and I doing it together. Gillis was the mastermind in my 2017 prep. Yep. And I have to say, within my 2017 prep, we've learned a lot. And the beauty of a contest prep, in my opinion, is getting to know how your body operates, especially when you're lower in body fat, because your body becomes more efficient and you're more in tune with your body. Yeah. Prime example, like this is just something like really weird. Like ever since my 2017 prep, it's like whenever I'm dieting or trying to lose some body fat, because I hate saying dieting. So whenever I'm trying to lose some body fat, I will feel like midday, like no joke, like I'll wake up lighter, but then midday, I'll feel like I dropped weight, and then I'm like, let me go weigh myself. And then sure shit, I'll get on the scale and I'm down like a pound or two, like midday with food in me. Like I'm just so in tune with my body. And I don't know why I'm like that, but we all have our, we're all so different, but yet the same. And we all have like our little things. So, going into 2020, we're basically, all the mistakes that we've made, we've corrected them. We formulated better systems for this, and we've done our research and we've learned. Yeah. And so we're going to be implementing all of these things into my 2020 prep. So we have a list here of things that we're going to talk about really quick in regards to what we're going to be doing moving forward. So 2020 meal. 2020, I was gonna say meal plans. 20. We do macros, not meal plans. 2020 prep plans. Okay. So our plans for 2020. Well, right now, what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be doing this starting tomorrow, is basically the primer phase of going into a prep. And what I mean by this is not so much like the prep before the prep, but basically setting me up so I can have a better response to carbohydrates for my prep. And
it's the prep before the prep.
Your face threw me off.
Okay.
Because you look like, oh, what's this bitch talking about?
Well, because you said it's not the prep before the prep.
It's the primer. I want to call it the primer.
Sure, it's the primer.
Anyway, so the main focus of this is going to be to get me more insulin sensitive, because obviously as you put on more body fat, you put weight on, you're not so much insulin sensitive like you were when you were leaner. And explain what we're going to be doing for this.
Sure. So for the next 4 to 6 weeks, what we're planning to do with Taryn is really calculating maintenance calories to see relatively where her maintenance level is in terms of calorically. From there, we're going to relatively bring fat up higher. We're going to actually bring carbohydrate intake down. And the primary sources of carbohydrates that I really want Taryn to start consuming is going to be very fibrous. So some of your vegetable bases, some of your really fibrous roughage. So about half of the total carbohydrates. So for example, let's say that she's on 60 grams of carbohydrates daily, and 70 grams of fat. Just kind of throwing a number out there so we have an example. About 50% of that should be coming from her vegetable bases. So those components, and then the other can be, whether it's starchy, whether it's post exercise, primarily having
like
those
starchy carbs, like potatoes, basically, which again is another form of a vegetable. Then go where were you say?
I was gonna say it's just starchy carbohydrate, so it's not as fibrous.
So that is the plan for that, and the whole reason for this is, I'm not looking at it as I need to do this to drop body fat. Obviously, that's going to happen anyway. The more insulin sensitive I become, obviously I'm going to utilize carbohydrates a lot better, and there will be body fat dropped. Yes. But that's not the purpose of this. It's just to get me more insulin sensitive, so when we roll into prep, I have a better response to carbs, and hopefully we don't run into any plateaus, but we probably will. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, what we're gonna do this year, or next year, I should say, 2020 versus 2017, is something that we never really implemented. Was utilizing a diet break when we started to notice the plateauing effect, and maybe just progress wasn't really happening. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna make sure that we're doing timelining the deloads in terms of training protocol in accordance with the actual diet break. So taking her out of a calorie deficit, putting her on maintenance calories, allowing some of the cortisol levels to drop, allowing some of the actual thyroid hormones to go in a better acutely improve there, and that's going to allow better weight loss or rate of weight loss to start occurring. Also, what we want to do is, for the improving insulin sensitivity, is to allow, when we're in prep, for carbohydrate utilization to be more efficient. And we're also going to be, I'm also going to be tracking my blood glucose. So every morning I wake up, fast it, I'm going to check my blood glucose levels to obviously see where my insulin sensitivity is, or where my blood sugar levels are, to see if I'm becoming more insulin sensitive. And that's something that we didn't do. We didn't even think about that, to be honest with you. It was just kind of like, go. Yeah. Go, work as hard as you fucking can, and that was it. Yeah, this time we want to be a little bit more methodical, and being, the work ethic is still going to be there, but we're going to put that work ethic in the right areas that needs to be to better bring the physique up. Not necessarily, we're not looking to musculature. Bring enhanced in terms of more muscle. I think Taryn carries quite a bit of muscle for where she's at, and she's relatively balanced. I think what we need to really dial in this going into this year right now, and our focus is going to be primarily with conditioning, and then definitely just improving stage presence as we're rolling into multiple shows going into 2020.
So weight wise, where do you want to see me weight wise?
I mean, in 2017, her stage weight was right around 140. I think in order for us to see an improved physique and improved conditioning to occur, we need to be around 135 at minimum, but I think we can even push even to 132, 133. depending if with over the course of the multiple years since she's last competed, if we haven't put on any muscle tissue. So again, that can always kind of fluctuate, which is why I kind of say that 135, because if we put on a couple pounds of muscle,
I might be a little heavier.
So the 135 would be more
better.
realistic. Exactly.
Yeah. And right now my weight is probably around like 160, 165-ish.
Yeah.
Basically, this is where at 160 at the beginning of 2019, because I tried to prep then, but it was just, things just weren't working out. And then, of course, I'll explain more in later videos to come on that. But things just weren't working out for me the way I wanted them to. But I started prep at 160 then. And right now I'm about 160 now. But of course, I feel that body composition, it's different. Like my 160 now is different from my 160 at the beginning of 2019.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and then obviously we pulled the plug on prep, and I ended up putting on, 15 pounds, which everybody does, and my body went back to that set point weight that I was prior to prep, which happens to
everyone. For the most part, yeah.
Absolutely, but it really just depends on, obviously how you control yourself. And right now, in regards to, and I have a list of questions here in case you guys are wondering what I'm doing, and right now in regards to like my current nutrition protocol, basically what I've been doing is I've just been tracking protein and just letting carbs and fats just fall wherever, because the biggest thing with rolling into a prep is just making sure that you have a good relationship with food. If you have any issues with food, it's coming out in prep, and prep does not solve those problems. And I think that's the biggest mistake people make. Obviously, coming off of a contest prep, your relationship with food is just shit. So by allowing myself, just tracking protein and having carbs and fats fall wherever, it allowed me to rekindle my relationship with food and be in a better place with it from a mental standpoint. Now, this isn't something that I did like as soon as I pulled the plug on my 2019 prep, because that would have been a disaster. Now, of course, I ate a lot of cookies, not going to lie, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was like a negative rebound, because I put on like 15 pounds over the course of 4 months. Yeah. So what is that? Like 4 pounds?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
A month?
Yeah.
Three and a half. Change. So if we're looking at it from like a mathematical standpoint, that's like 1 pound gained a week.
Sure.
Give or take. So that's not a bad thing. Now, the next question is, what does training look like? And do you have any areas that you are focusing on physique-wise? So, as Gillis mentioned, even though I know I can get in my own head with this, I'm not really looking to add muscle, even though I feel like I need all the muscle in the world, and I'm just like the smallest little bitch out there, which I'm not, because when I stand against another female, like I don't realize how much size I have until I'm standing next to her, and I'm like, holy shit, I tower over her. So basically the goal is just going to be just better conditioning. Of course, focusing on always trying to have better delts, wider back, thicker back, and then of course making sure that I'm focusing on my quads, because I am very glute and hamstring dominant. So I just want to make sure that my legs are very balanced, but more specifically just more conditioned, because that is an area where I hold body fat. Well, my limbs, so like up around like my tricep area,
arm area, and
legs,
extremities.
My extremities. But this time around with putting weight on, what I've noticed is that it seems like it went from, like I used to hold a lot of body fat the back of my thighs, but now it seems like it just shifted all to like the front of my quads. Which I know like we'll have to save that educational piece for another time. But that is my goal. So obviously a leaner, more conditioned physique, and just making sure my quads are big enough, I guess, to balance me out, even though I am balanced.
I don't think you need more size on the quads. I think it's just conditioning.
In my head.
I think we get conditioning down. the physique's going to really just kind of speak for itself.
Yep. So there you have it. So that is the plan moving forward. And of course, after this video, we're going to be moving into a more of like a documentary type where I'm taking you guys with me throughout my day, rolling into everything and showing you guys everything. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and more to come.
Yeah. And
hopefully we'll see more Gillis.
That's it.
He's going to be prepping too in 2020. So Big Gil coming back. But thanks for joining me on my journey, guys. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, leave me comments, whatever the fuck you want to do. Do it.